How's it going? Mike here, The Fresh Rinse. This is part 8 or 9, I don't remember, of our series on our 2023 complete pressure washing rig rebuild. The camera on my phone has went kaplooey. I'm hoping to get a new one today. In the meantime, I'm using my GoPro. This is the GoPro Hero 10, if you're interested. And I'm hoping that this provides quality footage for both audio and video. Today, we are going to run power from both of our sets of hose reels. So 4 18-inch electric Titan hose reels that we'll be running power to, and hopefully by the end of this video we will have full power to all 4 of the hose reels. Now let me show you where we're at thus far, then I'll show you a list of supplies and the tools that we'll need. Off camera, I went ahead and rewired all of the hose reels for the external wiring, meaning everything that's coming from the battery or will be coming from the battery has been rewired. I just shrunk or decreased the length of all the wires because I like for everything to be nice and tight. So you can see here that I've disconnect everything up in here, run all new wire, and zip tie everything. Connecting it here, I zip tied it underneath, and I'm ready to go in the back. In a previous video, I showed you how to solder the lugs to the end of your 8-gauge wire. I'll not be showing that today. I might show a little bit of that, but I'll not be giving a complete tutorial on that because we've already done that. However, I will be showing you how to daisy chain from one reel to the next, and also how to daisy chain from one 100 amp breaker to the next. I have 3. In fact, why don't we go ahead and just kind of go through our list of supplies that we'll be needing. I have a 2-inch grommet here. I have 3 of the 100 amp waterproof breakers. With the breakers came 8 of these lugs, which I'll be using to connect to the end of the wires, which I got from one of the big box stores. Basically, these are booster cables. And then in addition, I have a whole bunch of sleeves. These are the heat shrink sleeves that I'll be putting over the lugs and the wires. For our tools that we're going to need to complete this project, we have a soldering gun and solder. Of course, I have a blade there to cut things. Got to cut things. Instead of using a vise, as in the last video, I'm going to use vise scripts. I have a 2 1/4 inch hole saw. I have electric cutters that I've had since I was a lad, and my cordless drill. Let's get busy. Off camera, I have replaced the breaker with a new breaker, and I'm getting ready to drill the hole to supply the cables running in from the reels, then to, of course, the breaker. A couple of points real quickly, because I'm sure some will be asking. You'll notice that I have the breaker upside down, and the reason being is because the breaker is very clearly labeled battery right here, and then of course this post here is for everything that's running from the rig. So this is supplying power to the 8-gallon-a-minute machine. Again, you'll see that in a previous video. And again, that's just to allow ease of access to the wire, so I don't have everything running on top of one another. I think that makes sense. I'm running 3 breakers because, really, for the sole purpose of easy maintenance. If ever I have to work on one individual thing, the hose reels, the machines, or the 12-volt soft wash equipment, I want to be able to locate it easily and work on it easily. I don't want to have to pull off a bunch of wires that have nothing to do with whatever it is that I'm working on. So I'm running 3 of these. Not to mention, as I said in the previous video, I got all 3 100 amp breakers from Amazon for 26 bucks. I should also mention real quickly, the lugs that came with the 3 breakers, there are 8 lugs and washers in here. I priced 2 of these lugs at Lowe's yesterday. It was $9. $9 for 2 of these. I got 3 breakers and 8 lugs for 26 bucks shipped to the house. So you can't beat that. I've located where I want to drill my next hole and where I want to apply the next breaker. So let's drill this hole. I'm going to clean the burrs off both inside and outside the box with an angle grinder. Now I will slice an opening. And now I'm ready to run my wires through the hole. I've located the spot where I want my breaker, and I'm using self-tapping screws to attach the breaker to the box. As shown in a previous video, I'm going to show you how I solder the wire to the lug. I've cut the wire to the wire housing rather, to the appropriate length, and I have my heat shrink already inserted onto the wire. Always make sure you put it on the wire first, or else you'll never get it over the lug. I simply heat the lug and apply the solder. Position the wire in the lug and hold that for about a minute. There you can see I have removed the excess solder, and now I will put my heat shrink over top of the lug and the wire. I like to pull it to where it looks like it's going to cover a portion of the hole, but watch what happens. When you apply heat, it allows for the entire hole to be utilized. Perfect. Off camera, I have prepared the appropriate length cable with the second lug on the end. I will simply attach this end of the wire to my first breaker, and then attach this end. This is what is called a daisy chain. I will now bring the wires from both hose reels through the hole and connect it to this port right here. All right, so let's recap super quick here. I have a ground ran from the battery to the box. That will ground the entire rig. I have power ran from the battery to this first breaker, and then my 8-gallon-a-minute machine ran to this breaker. I'm daisy chained from the breaker to this breaker. That supplies power to this breaker. And so anything ran to this breaker, which of course is both sets of hose reels, should have power. So let's go over here. If I have everything ran correctly, I should have power to both of these reels. Perfect. And then to these reels. All right, so it's time for me to go have lunch with my oldest daughter. She's moving to Chicago soon, and we're going to have lunch and talk about things. In our next video, Lord willing, we will have a third breaker here, and that will supply my Flow Pro, which will be mounted here, and also the 12-volt pump, which will be located, I think, on the back side of these reels here. And I believe this hose reel will supply the hose for that 12-volt. So that'll all be in the next episode. I hope this helps. I really want to help, right? My name's Mike. They call me the Fresh Rinse, and I'm out.